All right, good morning. My name is Dan. I'm going to illustrate some concepts of divine justice for you. We have 4 defendants that have gone through the trial of divine justice, and all of them will be found guilty. However, justice will be administered differently in each case. Imagine a pair of balances. On one side of the balance is the sinner's debt. On the other side of the balance is what the sinner can pay to satisfy that debt. The judge is going to determine how justice will be administered. The first defendant comes into the courtroom for his sentencing. The judge puts a weight on the balance, the debt side, called compensatory justice. The balance goes like this. What is compensatory justice? Compensatory justice means the sinner must make restitution for all of the effects of his sin. It's the giant undo button in the sky. The sinner must somehow reverse all the effects of his sins on other people. Say he lied, and somebody is going to be lost forever, eternally, because he lied, because the sin caused the person to disobey God. That's compensatory justice, would be to reverse that effect. The judge puts another weight on the balance, called eternal judgment or eternal punishment. This is punitive justice, okay? Punitive justice is justice that's beyond compensatory justice, okay? It's a judgment to punish the person for their attitude in sinning, their willfulness, for pain and suffering. It's additional to compensatory justice. Okay, our first defendant is in the courtroom, and the scale is weighed down like this. He pleaded innocent in his trial. And here's what the judge says. You pleaded innocent, but you were found guilty. There's no way that you're going to be able to pay for your sin. You have nothing to put in the balance. And the defendant is speechless. The judge says, take him away to be justiced. That means take him away to be punished. Okay, the second defendant comes into the courtroom. And this defendant pleaded guilty. A little smarter to plead guilty when you are guilty. The judge puts compensatory justice on the balance. The judge puts eternal death on the balance. Now this defendant was a little smarter. This defendant takes a weight out of his pocket when the judge asks him how he's going to pay for his debt. This weight is the defendant's good works. My good works, says the defendant. Put them on the balance. The defendant puts it on the balance. The balance goes. It's not enough to pay the penalty. Not enough for compensation. Not enough for paying eternal debt. The judge says, it's no good. Take him away to be justice. That means they took him away to be punished. The third defendant comes into the courtroom. And this defendant wisely pleaded guilty also. The judge puts the weights on the balance, and they go like this. And the judge says, how are you going to pay your debt? And the defendant, with a smile on his face, takes out a weight out of his pocket. And he says, these are God's good works. Not my good works, they're God's good works. They're your perfect obedience, O judge, to the law. You kept all the commandments, and I want you to put this on the balance in order to balance justice. And the judge said, that weight is fraudulent. How can I justly do justice by ascribing to you what's not really yours? That's just, it's theft. Where did you get that weight anyway? And besides, just to prove to you that this is not justice, let's put the weight on the scale. God's good works on the scale. Chunk. And the defendant's eyes open. Why doesn't it balance? And the judge says, you don't understand. all of my good works aren't going to undo the effects of all of your sin. It's good, but it doesn't have the effect of undoing and making restitution. People are still going to be lost because of your sin. And so the judge takes the weight off the scale, and he takes it in his hand. And you know what we have to do with this? You have a big theological word for this stunt, oh defendant. You call it imputed righteousness. But you know it's got to go on the dung heap, out the window, on the dung heap. Take him away to be justiced. The final defendant comes into the courtroom. He pleaded guilty. The judge weights down the scales like this. The defendant says, I have nothing at all to put in the balance. I plead for mercy. I plead for forgiveness. And I know I've done a bunch of wicked things. And I'm still a sinner. And I need your help, O judge, to change that. I want to change. The judge says, okay, I will administer justice by granting you mercy. First, the judge takes the weight called the compensatory justice off the scale completely. Then the judge takes the weight called eternal judgment off the scale, and he replaces it with a weight called substitutionary payment, substitutionary death. Okay, and now we have substitutionary death here, a reduced penalty. By his mercy, he reduced the penalty. Okay, but the balances are still out of balance. And the defendant says, how are you going to fix that, Your Honor? And the judge takes a weight out of his pocket. This weight is my death. We'll put that on your side of the scale. And the scales balance. And the judge says, look, my justice is satisfied. The scales are justified. I forgive you. Now there's 3 steps of mercy involved in administering justice like this. 1, throwing compensatory justice off the balance. 2, reducing the penalty to substitutionary death. And finally, the judge takes off his robe and shows the nail prints in his hand and the wound in his side. The final step of mercy is the judge pays the payment so that his justice is satisfied. Now how is this justice? Because justice is the same as the judge's righteousness. The judge is being righteous by showing mercy in this case. So that's how he administrates justice. And the sinner is forgiven and he can go free.